Many of the pharmaceutical companies and their top investors have had emergency meetings over the last week. And I've been hearing rumors about it. And, we get our calls as well. And people are like, is this really happening? Is this actually happening? Can you give us some insight as to what Bobby's going to do? And I was like, look, it's not about Pfizer being or pharmaceutical companies being bad, right? They've done some very bad things, but the idea of them in and of itself is actually quite positive. Do the research, come up with interesting treatments and drugs, and just be honest. And if the vaccine works, that's wonderful. If there are injuries, let's understand and screen those populations in advance, and come up with different schedules. Mumps, measles, rubella, it's 3 in 1. If you talk to some of the doctors, when they vaccinate their kids, they actually seek out each of these vaccines separately. Measles vaccine separate from the mumps and rubella, and they'll give their children that single shot, on a slightly different timeline. We have so many things we can do to save this industry and to save these companies. It's not necessarily we want Pfizer to disappear overnight. And we don't want the stock to tank. In fact, we'd love for it to be a successful stock that is directly tied with health outcomes. I mean, if that was the case, we wouldn't have a problem here. But that's not the case. That the increase in their stock price over the last 10 years has been directly tied to many injuries that have been swept under the rug, as that has been the case with Merck. And so the correction we're seeing right now is the right one. That they made a mistake. The company has failed in its duty to deliver a safe and effective product, and it's time for them to readjust.